Yeah, so in our previous video, we had seen what is pandas. We had just gone through the theory part of what is data frame and what is series. So we had seen what is pandas data frame and pandas series. So let us continue our journey and in this session, we shall see what is Pandas series because actually we covered what is Pandas series. So today we shall see what is Pandas data frame. Fine. So a quick and friendly review of what we had seen in the last session. So we had discussed regarding this Pandas. So what are Pandas? Pandas are open source Python library. They are used for data manipulation and analysis. And Mechanic is the one who is the creator of this Pandas. And then again, you see, we have two types of things. Why we use these pandas? We use these pandas for data processing that helps in data analysis. And also, we can effectively manipulate large data sets using these pandas. Next, pandas, we have two types of things. One is series, one is data frame. So, series deals with one dimensional array, and data frame deals with two dimensional array. We had already covered this concepts of series. So if you see what is a data frame is a two-dimensional structure. So what can be done using these pandas? We can work both with series and data frame. We can handle the missing data. We can do data alignment. We can do group by functionality. We can do slicing, indexing, subsetting. We can do merging and joining. We can do reshaping. We can do hierarchical label accessing. And we can also work with time series functionality also. So what shall we do is using pandas. Let us start working. Okay, so let me open the data set with which we are going to work. So this is the data set, demographic data, country name, country code, birth rate, internet users, and then income. Okay, so this is the data set with which we are going to work. Country name, country code, birth rate, internet users, and income group. So let us start working with this data set. So let me open Jupyter Notebook. Okay. Let me go to the code file. So what is our first step? What we have to do? We have to load this data set into our Jupyter Notebook. So this is what we have to do. And if you observe this data set, where it is located, this data set is located. Let me click on this one, demographic data, go to properties. If you see the name of the data set is demographic data. And if you see the type of file it is CSV file, .csv file, comma separated values. Okay, and it is located in D drive datasets folder. Okay, so this is the story about this demographic data properties. So what I will do is let us load this dataset first. So for that, stats, I'm naming this dataset as stats equal to pd.read underscore csv. And what is this? This is the path of the dataset. So this dataset is located in D drive datasets folder, and the name of the dataset is demographic data, and it is its extension is .csv. It is CSV file. That is the reason .csv. Now stats. All right. See what it is saying. It is saying PD is not defined. Okay. So what we have to do? We have to import certain libraries. So first, let me import OS. Next, what I'm doing, I'm importing NumPy also because we will do certain NumPy things also. And then let me import pandas as PD. So this is what we had imported. So now stats. pd.read underscore CSV because we are working with CSV file underscore CSV and stats. See, successfully we have loaded this data set. Okay, so that is the specialty of Python. If you remember, like I said in the starting during the introduction sessions, that Python code is typically one third to one fifth size of equivalent to Java and other languages. Because if you see in a one line of code, we could able to load the data set. So if you want to do the same task in other programming language, it will take at least 5 to 6 lines of code. But the same thing can be done very easily using Python. Okay. So we have loaded this data set case, fine. Now, if you observe, here we had given the complete path. Okay, so this is the first methodology. So let us go to the second methodology. Here we have given the path of the data set. But in the real term, always the data set will not be in your system, sometime in the server. And what happens sometimes due to the lengthy path and all, there are chances of mistakes and other things. Okay, so in that case, what you have to do is you have to change the directory of Python. Okay, so you have to change the directory of Python to the folder where the data set is located. So that is what we have to do. So come, let us see how to change the directory. So come here, os.chdar. So os.chdr means change the directory. So I am changing the directory to the folder where the data set is located. So the data set is located in D drive datasets folder. I am changing to that location. Run it. And what is the use of that one? So if you see print get os dot get CWD. So what is the meaning of this os dot get CWD? The meaning is get current working directory. So what we are doing, we are printing os dot current working directory. Right. See, now it is pointing out to this folder, D drive datasets folder. Okay. So what is the advantage of doing this? The advantage is this time, no need of giving the path. We can directly give the name of the dataset. Okay. See, this time I'm not giving path. If you see here, previous what we have done, we had given the path of the data set along with the name. But this time we are not giving the path of the data set. We are just giving the name of the data set and its extension. So stats, right? See, we have successfully loaded again this data set that is stats. Okay. So it has 5 columns: country name, country code, birth rate, internet users, income group, and I guess there are 195 rows. Okay, that is the story of that one. Now, length of stats. So length is a function. You will get how many rows are there. So we have to get 195. See, 195. Next, stats dot columns. So stat dot columns, what it will retrieve the column names. We have column names. What are the column names? Country name, country code, birth rate, internet users, and income group. So as well as you can get length of stats also. Length of stats. So here we have 5 columns. So length of stats, what we have to get? We get 5 as the answer. So we got 5. Next, stats dot head. So head, what it will do, it will give us first 5 rows. In our language, it will give first 6 rows, but in Python, it will give first 5 rows. Okay. So first 5 in the sense top 5. So Aruba, Afghanistan, Angola, Albania, and UAE. That is what we are getting. Okay. Next. Stats dot tail. What we will get? We will get bottom 6 rows. Bottom 6 rows. We have 5 rows there. Sorry. Next, type of stats. Type. Type means it will tell you what type it is. It is a pandas core.frame.dataframe. So we got pandas core.dataframe. It is a data frame stats. It's basically that is the reason we got this answer pandas.core.frame.data. Next, stats.info. So what does the info gives to us? Right, info. So it is giving certain information. So to the class which this stats belong to. So stats belongs to the data frame. So it is saying there are 195 entries, and then it is telling about the columns. Okay, and birth rate. So it is saying the type it is float 64 internet users because birth rate and internet users they consist of numerical data. That is the reason we got float 64. Okay. So that is stats.info. And then we have something called as stats.describe. Stats.describe. See, this is what stat.describe is. So birth rate, internet users. So if you observe, we have many columns, guys. We have few other columns also. Like we have columns like country name, we have columns like country code and income group also. But we are not getting details regarding them, but we are only getting details regarding birth rate and internet users. Okay. So what is the reason why we are getting the information regarding only birth rate and internet users? Because these two columns are the columns where you have numeric data. Okay, so describe what it will do. It will give information regarding the numeric columns only, not about the textual column. Right? If you see here, what type of information this describe is giving, it is giving the count, it is giving the mean. So mean, so birth rate mean is 21.46. That means in all the countries the average birth rate is 21.46. Okay, STD stands for standard deviation. Minimum, so minimum means that one country, okay, has a minimum birth rate of 7.9. Okay. And this is first quarter 25%. This is second quarter, or you can say it as a median. And then this is third quarter. And this is maximum value. Okay. Maximum value means the country has a maximum birth rate of 49.66. That is what information it is giving. The same with internet users also. Okay. So the minimum internet users are 0.9. That means in one country, only one person is using internet, and the maximum internet usage is around 96.54, and the average internet usage throughout the world is around 42.076471% thing is. Okay, this is what about describe is. But if you see here stats.describe, so we got like this. Sometimes what we have to do is we need to change the rows into columns, columns into rows for better understanding. So how to change? So you can use a dot T running. See, birth rate here, internet users. So we got like this. So instead of T, you can write transpose also. For example, stats.describe. You can use this transpose also instead of that. Okay, stats.describe.transpose. Here it will also change the rows and columns. Otherwise, you can use this dot T as well as, right? So this is about describe. Next, you can rename the columns also. For example, if you see here, if you see the column names, actually guys, for data manipulation and other things, if you have this space, sometimes this space will create a problem. So what shall we do is let us remove this space and rename the columns. Okay. So how to rename the columns by removing the space? So stats.columns. I'm giving new column names. I'm leaving the space, country name, country code, birth rate, internet users, and color. Alright. So now if you check stats.columns, because we had changed. See, now the column names is country name, country code, birth rate, internet users. Now we have removed that spaces, no space. Fine. Next. So stats country name dot head. So what we are trying to do, we are trying to extract only country name dot head. It will give first 5 rows. So we are trying to extract this one. Okay, so what is this? This is nothing but it is subsetting, or you are slicing that one. Correct. Correct. See, Aruba, Afghanistan, Angola, Albania. Not only that, I am making it as a list. Only country name, birth rate, I am making it as a list. Observe here. Correct. So only country name, birth rate, I am making it as a list. and stats.list.head, stats of list.head. Okay. Dot head again, it will give top five rows. So country name and only columns, country name and birth rate, top five rows we have. Can see. Only country name and birth rate. Okay. Next. So that is another way. Otherwise, you can directly call with the column names. Stats of country name, comma birth rate dot head. Country name, birth rate. Next. You can do the reverse also. Calling birth rate first, and again country name. See, this time we got birth rate here and country name. Okay, so we are interchanging the location. So stats 4 column 8 country name and birth rate. So just think about it. Stats 4 column 8 country name and birth rate. So what will happen, guys? Because if you see here 4 column 8 means what we are trying to use, we are trying to get from fourth row to seventh row. So that is what we are doing here actually. Okay. So if you see here, what we are trying to do from fourth row to this is right hand side, you have to do a minus one, that is 7. That means we are trying to access from fourth row to seventh. What we are trying to access country name and birth rate. Okay. So fourth row to seventh row, country name and birth rate. Okay. So, fourth index row, guys, do remember. Fourth index row to seventh index. Next. The same thing you can do this way also. Stats country name birth rate 4 column 8. Okay, so 4 column 8 means from fourth row to fourth index row to seventh index row. Okay, country name and birth rate. Come here. So you can make it separate data set also. So DF equal to stats dot 4 column 8. So stats 4 column 8 means stats 4 column 8 means yes. Stats 4 column 8 means fourth index row to seventh index rows. So country name, country code, birth rate, internet users, and income group from fourth row to seventh index row we have to get, and I am naming it as DF1. And if you check DF1, so I am making it as a separate data. Let's see. And if you ask for a type of DF, then ask for type of DF. So it is saying core dot frame dot data. Okay, so we had made a separate data frame. Next. Shorted underscore data, country name, birth rate, shorted values, birth rate, ascending equal to. See this speed of piece of code. I want a country name along with birth rate. How which order? Birth rate in ascending order. Okay, so if you observe, this is this is the column birth rate. So if you observe, this is not in a specific order. I want in a specific order uh, from the birth rate, okay, from the minimum birth rate to maximum birth rate, that is in ascending. So I want birth rate in ascending order and country name along with the country name. So how to get? Can get like this. Sorted data. Fine. So if you see Portugal is the country where the birth rate is minimum. Next, China is also the country where birth rate is very minimum. Okay, Japan, Greece, and all. So Niger is the country with the maximum birth rate. Well, you can get like this also in ascending order. And yeah, now stats. So this is stats. Fine. So now what shall we do is we shall see how to create a new column. See, suppose I want to add a new column to here. Okay. So let me name this new column as my calc. And I want to add this birth rate and internet rate. And I want to display over it. I want to add Afghanistan birth rate and internet users. And I want to display over. So you can do such type of mathematical calculation between columns, but both should be of numeric columns only. And you can make a separate column and you can display because a lot of the times in real term, we need to do such type of calculations and create a new column. Now I am doing that one. So let us see how to do that one. So result stats dot birth rate multiplied with internet users. So what we are doing, I am multiplying birth rate column with internet users column and I'm naming it as result. Result dot head means first five rows we have to get. Now I want to make a separate column. So the column name is my calc and the column should consist of the multiplication of birth rate and internet users data. Okay, stats. We observe here now I had created a new column with the name my calc and it consists of birth rate multiplied with internet users. Okay, that is the thing. And suppose if you want another column, so this time my calc one, this time I want to have addition of birth rate and internet users. Addition of birth rate. So I created one more column with the name myCalc. So here this is addition of birth rate and internet users. MyCalc, this column, this is multiplication of birth rate and internet users. Okay. Now and now if you see here, guys, in both the cases, if you see I had created this myCalc, I had created this myCalc, I had created this myCalc one. So every day we are adding at the last. But I don't want it to add at the last. I want to add somewhere in between at second index or third index or something like that. Okay. So how to do that? So stats dot insert 2 comma mycalc stats dot pop mycalc 1 stats dot head. Okay. So get familiar with this coding. So I'm inserting at the second index. See, mycalc 1. You see, I had inserted that mycalc one at second index. So 0 index, 1 index, and this is 2 index. So you can have at any index. It's not like at last by default it will take at last. No, you don't want to have it last. If you want to have it in a particular index region, you can have that one in the particular index region as well as fine. Now, if you observe, we had created two columns, mycalc1 and mycalc. So now I don't want those columns. I want to remove that column. So how to do? Use drop. So let us drop mycalc and let us drop mycalc1 also. So now stats. We had removed that columns also. So you can remove any column. So not only mycalc1, if you want, you can remove country name, country code, birth rate, and all these columns. All any column, whatever you want to do. Fine. Next stats 21 column 16. So 21 column 16 means you will get rows index from 21 to 25. 21 to 25. Stats column. Column means you will get complete data frame. See, we got complete data frame. Stats 185 column. So, what is the meaning of this? The meaning of this is as follows. So, if you see here, 185 and here nothing. So, this is right hand side, this is sorry, this is left hand side, this is right hand side. When right hand side nothing is mentioned, the meaning is give me from a 185 row index to till end. End means 195 row. Okay, we get till end. So from 185 to till end, 194 index. Next, that's column 10. What is this column 10? If you observe here, in the left hand side, nothing is mentioned. In the right hand side, we have 10. So the meaning is when left hand side nothing is mentioned means give me from starting 10. So this is right hand side. Right hand side always you have to do a minus 1. So 10 minus 1 that is 9. So you will get rows from 0 index to 9th index. 0 index to 9th index. So we got 0 index to 9th index. Now stats column minus. So what is this column minus? Right? See, everything we get in a reverse order. Column minus 0, 1, 2, 3, 5. Now if we say column minus 2, column minus 2. So column minus 2 means we'll get in reverse order, but every alternative will skip. For example, it is taking 0, 1 is skipped, 2, 3 is skipped, 4 like. Okay. Next, stats 1 column 2. So one column 2, what it will do, it will skip. It will give in the perfect order, but it will 0 will be skipped, 1 again, 2 will be skipped again. So these are all used for data manipulations and for data analysis. Sometimes if you want to skip something and all. So these are some techniques what you have to next. Stats.head. So head means first 5 rows. See, look at this carefully. This is stats.head, country name, country code, birth rate, internet users, income. Now what I am doing, stats to command. So what is the thing I want to do is, so this is 0 index, this is 1 index, this is 2 index, this is 3, 4, 0, 1. I want to access this 45.98. So what I can do, I can give row index and column index. So I can access this one. So what I'm doing, I'm trying to read stats to command. Second row, index and second column index, correct? It will not execute. What is the reason? In pandas, when you want to fetch a item based upon the index, what you have to use? You have to use something called as IET. So what you have to use? You have to use something called as IET. I stands for indexed. So what you have to use? IET. So you can't access directly like this. Instead of this, you have to use IET. IET stands for indexed. So now you can retrieve this 45.985. Okay. Second row index and second column index. You got 49.985. Next. Stats. IET 2 comma birth rate. Okay. So this is stats.head. This time what I am using, I at birth rate. See here guys, what is the difference between previous one and this one? In this one, we are not mentioning the index. We are mentioning the column name. Let us see whether we can access like that. It is throwing an error. So if you want to give index name, you should not use I yet. Okay. So now what I am doing, you just use it instead of I yet. So use I yet to command. So you could not use the column name like that. Now it will access. Now it will access 45.94.